South Carolina is a beautiful state with its charming towns, picturesque landscapes, and rich history. However, like any other place, it has its share of challenges. In this video, we'll explore the areas that have struggled with various factors such as high crime rates, low employment opportunities, poverty, and other quality of life issues. From cities with high crime rates to areas with limited economic opportunities, we will delve into the reasons why these places have earned their reputation. By shedding light on these challenging areas, we hope to provide you with valuable information that can help you make informed decisions about where to live or where to avoid. So let's discover the top 10 worst places to live in South Carolina. Number 10. Chester. Chester is a tiny city in South Carolina, specifically located in Chester County. Over the past 5 years, the number of residents in Chester has slightly decreased. Currently, the population stands at 5,433, with a growth rate of negative 0.4% in the last year and negative 1.4% in the last 5 years. Living in Chester offers a suburban atmosphere, which can be appealing for families seeking more room than what larger, crowded cities offer. It's a great place to find value for your money and a safe environment to raise children. The median home value in Chester is $67,100. Unfortunately, the town is facing some challenges. The unemployment rate is high at 10.4%, which means many people are struggling to find jobs. Additionally, the median income is $26,330, indicating that the average earnings are relatively low. As a result, more than 25% of the residents live below the poverty line. Despite these difficulties, one notable attraction in Chester is Aaron Burr Rock, which has historical significance related to Aaron Burr, a person known for shooting Alexander Hamilton. However, the town does not have much else to boast about in terms of its current conditions. Number 9. Batesburg-Leesville. Batesburg-Leesville is a town with a population of 5,647 people. It came into existence when the communities of Batesburg and Leesville merged together in 1992. The town is currently facing some challenges. The unemployment rate is 5.7%, meaning that a significant number of people are currently without jobs. The median income in the town is $43,980, which is not very high. That's why the poverty rate stands at 19.4%, indicating that many residents are struggling financially. The town has a high crime rate, with incidents occurring at more than double the national average. Additionally, the quality of education and housing in the town is not up to par. These are some of the difficulties that the community of Batesburg-Leesville is currently facing. Batesburg-Leesville is considered one of the worst places to live in South Carolina. The town has a lot of crime, which means it's not very safe for residents. The public schools are not very good, and they don't perform well compared to other schools in the state. There isn't much to do in the town, so it can be quite boring for the people who live there. On top of that, Batesburg-Leesville has been greatly affected by the opioid epidemic, which means many people are struggling with drug addiction. Overall, Batesburg-Leesville faces many challenges and is not a great place to call home. Number 8. Union. Union is a tiny city in South Carolina, situated in Union County. Over the past 5 years, the population of Union has slightly decreased. Currently, the population stands at 7,878, with a growth rate of negative 0.4% in the past year and negative 4.4% in the past 5 years. Living in Union gives a sense of quiet suburban environment, where there's a mix of rural and suburban elements. This means there's more space available for the cost, and it still maintains a close-knit community vibe. However, in Union, things aren't going so well. The unemployment rate is quite high at 8.6%. The median home value is also quite low at $80,700, which means that the houses in Union are not worth a lot of money compared to other places in South Carolina. While the crime rate is slightly lower in Union compared to some other areas, it is still not a very safe place to live. On a more positive note, the teacher-student ratio in the public schools is low, which means that the students get more attention and support from their teachers. Interestingly, Union doesn't even have a Facebook page yet, which shows that the town might not be very active online or connected with social media. Overall, Union faces some challenges and is not the most prosperous or well-known place in South Carolina. Number 7. Georgetown. When deciding where to live, it's important to think about how much it will cost. In Georgetown, the cost of living is lower than the average for the whole country and most cities in the state. Although some specific things may be more expensive in certain areas compared to others in the state and country, when you look at the average overall, things like housing, utilities, groceries, transportation, healthcare, and miscellaneous items and services are cheaper in Georgetown. This town is located along the Atlantic coast in Winyah Bay. In the past, it was a thriving place known for indigo and rice farming. However, these industries are no longer prosperous in any modern era. As a result, Georgetown has made it into the list of unfavorable places. The town has a higher percentage of residents, specifically 25.6%, who live in poverty, compared to other cities in the United States. On average, the poverty rate in cities across America is around 10 to 13%. Therefore, the town is struggling with a low median income and a high unemployment rate. Additionally, the crime rate in Georgetown is 3 times higher than the national average. Despite its current challenges, there are remnants of the town's former prosperity. The Kaminsky House Museum is a preserved mansion that offers a glimpse into Georgetown's lifestyle during the 1700s. It serves as a reminder of the town's history and past achievements. Number 6. Lancaster. Lancaster is a small city in South Carolina, situated in Lancaster County. In recent years, the city has experienced a decrease in the number of people moving to the area, following a period of consistent growth. The current population stands at 9,150, with a slight decline of 0.2% in the past year and a modest growth rate of 0.5% over the past 5 years. The town got its name from English royalty called the House of Lancaster. However, don't expect to find nobility and wealth in this community. Instead, the town faces significant challenges of high unemployment and poverty. More than 1/3 of Lancaster's population lives below the poverty line. The unemployment rate is very high at 18%. Education is also a concern in the area, as most of the local schools have a rating of 5 out of 10 or lower on great schools. Number 5. Marion. Marion is a small town in South Carolina with a population of 6,466. The population of Marion has been going down steadily over the past 5 years. This can happen for various reasons, and while it may not be a major concern, it's worth keeping an eye on. When fewer people live in a city, it can be due to different factors, like temporary events such as pandemics, conflicts, or food shortages, as well as long-term patterns like a low birth rate or people moving away. These factors have a ripple effect and can lead to further population decline. It affects the economy too, as there's less demand for basic services like hotels, restaurants, and shops. This in turn affects employment opportunities in these sectors. In addition to the declining population, Marion also has a high poverty rate. About 26.2% of its residents live in poverty, which is higher than in many other cities across the United States. On average, the poverty rate in American cities is around 10 to 13%. In the past year, it's dropped in rank, going from 4th to 9th in terms of livability. Despite its charming appearance, Marion faces significant challenges such as high crime rates and poverty. The town's unemployment rate is 16.4%, which means many residents struggle to find jobs. The median income is relatively low at $33,310, making it difficult for people to make ends meet. Additionally, Marion has a crime rate that is 160% higher than the national average, making safety a concern for its residents. While Marion may seem picturesque at first glance, these underlying issues make it one of the worst places to live in South Carolina. Number 4. Greenwood. Greenwood is a town in South Carolina with a population of 23,296 people. It may be worth visiting during special events like South Carolina Festival of Flowers or the Festival of Discovery, which showcases local arts, crafts, food, and music. However, outside of these events, Greenwood faces significant challenges. The town has a high poverty rate of 30.3%, meaning many residents struggle financially. Additionally, crime rates in Greenwood are much higher than the national average, almost 190% higher, to be exact. Education and housing also contribute to the issues in the area. None of these schools in Greenwood have a rating better than 5 out of 10 on great schools. While Greenwood may have some appealing events, it is considered one of the worst places to live in South Carolina. The city suffers from a severe lack of job opportunities, leading many residents struggling to find stable employment. Adding to the city's woes is the alarmingly high rate of violent crime, with several incidents of homicide occurring in recent years. Furthermore, Greenwood is plagued by an overwhelming poverty rate, with a significant portion of its population facing financial hardships on a daily basis. This unfortunate reality makes it difficult for residents to make ends meet and improve their quality of life. The city also grapples with a high dropout rate among its students, raising concerns about the quality of education provided. Overall, the combination of limited job prospects, elevated crime rates, widespread poverty, and educational challenges paint a bleak picture of Greenwood, positioning it as one of the most unfavorable places to reside in South Carolina. Number 3. Clinton. In the late 19th century, Clinton experienced a surge in manufacturing, particularly with the establishment of cotton mills. Unfortunately, these mills closed down in the early 2000s, causing a significant blow to the local economy. As a result, Clinton has earned its reputation as the fifth worst place to reside in South Carolina. The high poverty rate of 30.8% is a clear indicator of the challenges faced by Clinton. With a median home income of $28,174 and an unemployment rate of 10.4%, it becomes evident why the town struggles. Inadequate schools and housing conditions further exacerbate the town's issues. The overall crime rate in Clinton is 48 per 1,000 people, which is higher than the national average. However, the rate of violent crimes is 7 per 1,000 people, which is lower than the national average. The rate of property crimes is 41 per 1,000 people, also lower than the national average. When comparing the safety of Clinton to other cities, it's important to note that it has higher crime rates than the national average. Despite these statistics, Clinton is still a thriving community with many positive aspects for its residents. It's worth considering that crime rates can vary significantly between different neighborhoods, so it's essential to be aware of the crime levels in the specific areas you're considering for residence or spending time in. All in all, the combination of economic setbacks, high poverty, unemployment, elevated crime rates, and inadequate amenities has attributed to Clinton's placement among the worst places to call home in South Carolina. Number 2. Abbeville. Abbeville is a small town in South Carolina with a population of 5,045. It has moved up 12 spots to rank 15th this year. The median value of homes in Abbeville is $92,500. However, the town is facing economic challenges with an unemployment rate of 12.4%. If you're considering moving or buying property in Abbeville, South Carolina, it's important to know about the safety of the area for you and your family. Safety is a crucial factor to consider when choosing a place to live, as nobody wants to live in a neighborhood with high crime rates. So, is Abbeville a safe place to live? When looking at the overall crime statistics in Abbeville, the total crime rate is higher than the national average, but lower than the state average. The total offenses can be divided into two categories: violent crimes and property crimes. Violent crimes such as murder, manslaughter, aggravated assault, and rape tend to be higher in Abbeville compared to most cities across the country. On the other hand, property crimes, including theft and arson, are generally lower in Abbeville compared to the national average. The town also faces issues such as inadequate housing and underperforming schools, making it a challenging place to live in Abbeville. Number 1. Cheraw. Cheraw is a city in South Carolina, USA with a population of 5,596 residents. The poverty rate in Cheraw is 37.2%, which is 166% higher than the national average. The typical household in Cheraw earns $25,548 per year, while the national median is $67,500. Many people in the city face financial difficulties, as 1 out of every 3 residents lives below the poverty line, which is significantly higher than the national poverty rate of 14.1%. Furthermore, more than 1 out of every 5 households in the area survives on an income of less than $10,000 per year. This is much higher compared to the national average of 5.8%. Almost 72% of households in Cheraw earn less than $50,000 per year, in contrast to the national rate of 39%. Due to the lack of available jobs, many individuals in Cheraw are facing financial challenges. Nearly 1 out of every 6 workers in Cheraw is unemployed. This high jobless rate likely contributes to the widespread poverty in the city. Overall, Cheraw is a small town with a high crime rate, limited job opportunities, and underperforming schools. With not a whole lot going for it, this tiny South Carolina town is one of the worst places to live in the state. While opinions on the worst places to live can vary based on certain factors such as crime rates, poverty levels, unemployment rates, and educational opportunities, some areas in South Carolina have been identified as facing challenges. These are just some of these places cited as having these issues. It's important to note that while these areas may have their challenges, they also have positive aspects and amenities that can make them attractive to some residents. It's always recommended to conduct thorough research and visit potential places before making any decisions about where to live.